Hello, beautiful souls. I'm actually going to talk about something quite deep today. Binge eating. Yeah, and I've got lollipops. I thought what an appropriate time to wear my cute lollipop earrings because don't you just want to eat them? So actually today is going to be quite a touchy topic. I'm going to really go into something that I have struggled with, and so if you've come across this video, then you might find something relatable, and you might be able to find a little bit of like peace and healing in yourself if it kind of relates to a similar part of your journey. So today is day 28 of my 30-day challenge transformation, where I do a video every day for 30 days of a topic that hopefully helps you in your progress of healing and transformation in your life. And so I actually had a couple of different topics I was going to talk about, and then right before I was about to get ready for this, I've been on this like kind of strict diet thing, which yeah, and I won't go into, but and then I've been doing really well, and then I just decided to have a massive, not massive, but I just ate all this chocolate, which I wasn't really intending on doing, and then I almost, it was like a self-sabotaging. There was obviously emotions that needed to be felt and worked through, and I realized that I actually work through my emotions through food. I think it used to be wine, but now that I don't drink anymore, it's now food. So this could be relatable if you struggle with like something similar. And I had to really go deep into what's going on, and I realized actually I've just had my daughter for like 5 days, and then I've got 5 days without her. So I think as soon as it starts the time that I don't have my daughter, I'm like, oh, I've got all this time, and like I can do all this filming and work and blah blah blah. But I think it gets to the point where I'm probably quite exhausted, and I actually probably just need some rest. And so for me, sugar is like something that lifts me up when I'm like, if I have that, I'll keep going. I've been diagnosed with ADHD, so I've also this is a side note as well. I'm not a medical professional. I just research stuff on my own accord, and this is stuff that I've come across on my my discovery of my own eating disorders, I guess. And so I don't really like to call it an eating disorder so much, but when I kind of look at that, it's I guess it's really like eating disorders are like we're wanting to have some type of control. And so a little bit of my story, when I was in high school, I actually was technically anorexic. Like I got very skinny, but I would limit the amount of calories or the amount of food that I would eat. And how I would do this is I would only take a certain amount of food to school. I then also worked, went straight to this when I went and I was working after school as well. I went straight from school and then like home and then to work, and I worked until quite late. And my mum would always give me food in between, so I'd just ask for like a really light salad. But quite often I would go to school and try and not take any food to school, and then I'd have this tiny little salad, and then I would go to work and I wouldn't take any food because I just had dinner, so I'm like, I don't need food. And then so my sort of like afternoon evening snack would be like a massive mug of like Milo. I don't know if anyone else has done this. It's where you basically, it's full of Milo and like a little bit of milk. So that was kind of like my thing that it would fill me up. But I would literally restrict and the amount of food I would have, and I'd do this by not having any money on me, not having only having a little bit of food on me, and filling my day up with distractions so I couldn't eat. Now, after a while of doing this, that was really tiring and taxing, and I kind of didn't really want to. I actually missed just eating food, and so then I decided this is really boring. I don't want to. I don't want to live like this anymore. So then I was like, I want to eat all the food I want. So then I turned to bulimia, which meant I would pig out on ice cream. I'd pig out on like the most yummiest food ever and feel really disgusting afterwards, and then purge it all out. Which is like, it was probably the worst of the eating disorders that I had, because that was like the purging was really not a nice experience, but like the eating was like a really good experience. So throughout this, I then decided that I didn't want to do that anymore, and eventually I kind of found a balance, but it's really something that I realized I've struggled with, like eating disorders probably my whole life, and I'm very strict with my with what I eat, and I actually really like eating healthy food. But every now and then I will be so strict or like so good with my eating. I think right now, especially with a lot of the uh, doing sort of work, putting yourself out online and things like that, that is really, really is a form of shadow work and working on yourself and becoming very vulnerable. It really pulls all the emotions, and it's bringing up a lot, and I'm going through a lot myself at the moment, while also doing shadow work and stuff like this. And I'm realizing that food is my sort of way to emotionally regulate. And so I've also looked into a couple of studies about ADHD and or neurodiversities with eating disorders, and a lot of it is we have emotional dysregulation, so we find it really hard to regulate our emotions. And so emotions can be related to food, because it's another coping mechanism to cope with our big emotions. We can have really big emotions and really extremes, and so like you can be doing so well and then have this extreme fluctuation of emotions, and that then turns into like extreme eating behaviors. So that's something I've really noticed in myself, and after reading about it, I'm like, wow, yep, that makes a lot of sense. And so I guess that's where, if you're finding something similar, awareness is key, and know that there's nothing actually wrong with you. I thought like, well, why can't I just control it? Like, and that's also a thing with neurodivergence. We like to have control of ourselves. We can have really strict routines and stuff like that, because quite often we can feel like we don't feel like we're in control of our environment, and that can be very overstimulating, overwhelming, and quite emotionally unstabilizing. So like, if we can control ourselves and what we consume, then we know we're in control of something. But then it gets to that point where controlling it for so long, and then you're going through some heightened or emotional regulations, like you might be really needing something at the time and you're not able to fulfill that need. So then that will turn to a way of eating, like a binging or some type of whatever your coping mechanism is. And so I came across this question, and it was like, when I'm feeling, because I feel really good when I eat really well. I'm like, feel good, mental clarity and all of that. And so I'm like, why do I do this stuff? And I realized, like, when I ask myself, and this is something you can also ask yourself, like when you're having a triggering moment, or you're having like this really underlying desire to just pig out, which is what I do. I have a particular thing. So I find it better if I just don't have certain stuff in the house, then it's out of sight, out of mind. But then I will, when I'm in that state of mind, I will go on a mission to find something that I really want. And I have this little pig out session, and then there's that shame cycle again, like I'm naming it, it's like intense emotion, fill the emotion by doing something that I said I wouldn't do, and then feeling really bad, and then going back to mad control. And then it's kind of like a roller coaster, so that's something that I'm noticing. But the feeling that was, when I asked this question, like, what feeling is being unmet right now, and why am I feeling the need to have this item, or eat whatever at the moment. And I have tried other ways of having healthier snacks, but when you're really just like, there's a particular thing you want, mine is a type of chocolate always, and it's like, it's more of an emotional thing. So I could fill it with other type of food, but if I'm not actually meeting the emotional requirement, then nothing is going to satisfy it. It's like this wounded part of me that is needing to be fed. And so I asked myself, what am I actually needing right now? And I realized there's obviously, putting yourself out there can be quite an emotional and vulnerable thing, which I'd never change it. Like, I never take back anything, because I think it's really empowering to share stuff you're going through, and knowing that you can probably help someone else out there. I do feel like that is very strong and empowering, but at the same time, it is really scary. And it's like this, it comes back to that, like, am I going to be accepted? And so I put my eating disorder as I always wanted to be a certain weight, because if I am a certain weight, I will be loved and accepted. And so I think then the self-sabotage of that is like, if I binge or something like that and then put on weight, then I won't be loved or accepted. But also I do love to be healthy and look after my body. So it's more just finding a balance, and also really like journaling and reflecting on this. And I was like, well, I'm actually really tired. I've been getting up quite early doing these Zoom calls on this course that I'm on, and then I haven't been like balancing that out with adequate sleep. And so now I'm like, okay, I haven't had the right amount of sleep. And so because of that, I'm now relying on the sugar kick to keep me going, because I'm like, oh, I've got so much to do. If I go to sleep, then I'm technically feel like I'm lazy, which is, it's not laziness at all. This is all about balance, right? And this is like eating, having, like eating well and then having treats. It's all about balance. And so, with the emotional regulation is, the balance can be quite hard. And also, especially with neurodiversities and ADHD, etc., we have like a black and white way of thinking, all or nothing. And so it's like this way or that way. Either I have it all or I have nothing. So it's quite hard to actually find that balance. Like, you actually have to really work each day at working on the balance. And so I know that, okay, if I don't get enough sleep, I know that that is going to probably result in me wanting sugar, because sugar will help me, like you get we have a ADHD, you have like less dopamine, so you're relying on something that helps bring up your dopamine. I'm not really taking my medication at the moment because I'm trying to do a bit of more of like a natural way of getting through things. So I think that and also like to be a bit more able to share, I get a little bit in my head, which is funny. The medication's supposed to help like you think better, but it's like it makes me like more overanalyze everything. So that I think is also probably not helping with the the sugar, the dopamine levels. But anyway, that's my journey. So it's really finding balance is the key. And I know that's like balance in life would be ideal, right? If we could all just find balance. But if you're struggling with balance, whether it's with food or like whatever it is in your life, and you might be similar where you're noticing, and it's really just noticing, okay, what, like, rather than going, I'm bad or I can't stick to my goals or blah 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 blah, really just having some compassion and love with yourself, and know that, okay, so I had to get up super early for a call. I haven't made up for that sleep that I've missed. Yes, I've exercised. Yes, I've listened to my audiobook. Yes, I've done all my affirmations. Yes, I've meditated. Yes, I've done all the other amazing things today that would make me feel really good. But I think when there's a bit of like a dopamine crash mixed with lack of sleep, mixed with pressure of needing to get like stuff done, then there's like I've discovered there's an emotional need that is not quite being met there, and that is really, I probably just needed to take it easy and have a nap or something. But then I was in my head about like, if I have a nap now, that's then I'm gonna be behind, or then I'm gonna be tired, and then I guess it's that worry of like, is that gonna be the flow-on effect to like a domino effect type thing? But that's where like they're all or nothing, right? Like, I've gone this far, I might as well go the whole 9 yards. So this is where I choose to pull back and figure out. And then I was like, I'm actually going to do a video about this. So if you're still with me, I'd love to hear if like this resonates with you at any point. If you've ever had any sort of like eating a disorder or like unhealthy coping mechanism with food that you want to share, feel free. But I also know it's a really vulnerable thing to talk about, and I even was thinking that I might end up crying on this video, but I'm okay so far. I think I have actually processed that, but I thought that it was something that I've sort of moved through, and it's like, just, just eat healthy. Like, I can do so many other things, and it's, listen to the Atomic Habits, which has really helped me through healthier eating habits. And I do believe that taking the advice from the book has helped me eat healthier. But when there's like an actual emotional trigger, and it's not being met, then it can go the other way, and you're just like, I just need to feed this little shadow demon in me that's obviously needing to be fed right now. So I decided to do that, have a little bit of a pig out, and then that's okay. I journaled about it. Well, I'm journaling about it, and processing what is actually going on, and meeting it with love and compassion, and realizing that this is actually quite a common thing, especially with in females with neurodiversities as well. So it's not like I'm alone or anything like that, and that's where I need to give the self-love to myself. I know that I'll be accepted regardless, but I think that's that perfectionism and the inner critic coming out of wanting to look and be a certain way, because that's how I want to look and be. But knowing that you'll be loved regardless, and knowing that if I can love myself regardless, because when we do actually love ourselves regardless, then we feel more inspired to eat really good food. So, because you love your body, and you know what feels good and what doesn't feel good. But then that's also when you know that sometimes you just need to feel and eat your feelings a little bit. And it's okay to eat your feelings a little bit. It's just really finding like that balance, and being like, okay, I'm just gonna do this, and then knowing, to accept it, love yourself, and and so I sat down and I really enjoyed it, and was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, I have to talk about this, because this is obviously something that really comes up when I'm facing especially difficult times and difficult situations, and especially decisions, like difficult decisions. It's like I just want to like go and eat some food and go to bed. I think that comes back to that inner child, right? Like we just want to be cared and loved, and like and eat anything that we want, and just be happy. So it's probably me needing to go back to my inner child and having a little bit of play and enjoying it, and then knowing that I'm feeding my inner child. She's gonna be okay. She's gonna be loved and accepted, and and then you can move on, because obviously it's not going to be sustainable continuing to eat like that or whatever. So you've accepted that and gone through. Well, I accepted that and went through the process. So I've got a couple of other things that I just thought I'd add to this, that if you are having a similar situation, that you can ask yourself and journal about these prompts, and so you can really see what's going up and what's arising for you. And just make sure you do them with love and compassion, and know that it's going to be okay, and you are loved. And these feelings you're having are just just something that you maybe some strong emotions, or something that you're needing to process that you didn't quite realize. And so by having awareness is so much, it gives you so much power that you can take you can take back control in your life. And I think this is mainly really about we wanting to have control. And so the food is like a source of like control, you know, if I can control what I eat, but then not controlling it is feeling out of control in your own life almost. And so where you can find balance. So I'll just give you these journal prompts. What I was really starving for was, and that at the time I think it was rest, but there's definitely like, it could be loneliness, it could be you know, lots of other things. It could be acceptance. So you might be feeling like the food is a bit of acceptance for you, or yeah, what comes up for you. And then binging was a way to feel, and something that I felt is, it's almost like binging was a way to like rebel, because I do have a rebellious streak, and it's like, it's a little bit of self-sabotage as well, but definitely rebellion. It's like, you know, there's rules, but my little inner rebellious side wants to rebel because it's fun and exciting. So I don't know if there's what you would put as binging was a way to feel whatever for you. And then food became either like a friend, a punishment, or a distraction. I know food for me quite often can be like a distraction. If I'm wanting to avoid doing something, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm just going to sit down and eat this meal because I need to like eat. Or I would like try and distract myself away from like a feeling so long that when there was no distractions there, the food would come in. Also, if you're feeling a little bit of loneliness or like anything like that, it can be like a comforting friend, you know. It can be something that brings us some comfort and love, so we can be relying on it for that. So if you want to journal that down and see what comes out for you as well. And then the part of me that wants control is afraid of. So for me, that would be things not like the, you know, the controlling side. It's almost like perfectionism and wanting to, like, if I can be accepted and loved, and because, you know, if you're perfect, then you feel like you'll be accepted and loved. So I guess it's like letting go of that perfectionism. And also feeling like you have to do something like to perform, you know. It can be like, I feel like I need to perform or do my best or whatever it is. So what would be your part that wants control? That what are you afraid of? And so the voice in your head that might be saying, don't eat that, or don't do that, or like, you're going to ruin it if you do that. What is it actually trying to tell you? And like, it could be, you know, like if you're also going against that voice, could you like reason and be like, okay, it might be saying don't do that, you'll ruin everything. And then if you're like me, you're like, who are you talking to me, telling me what to do? Let me make the rules and do what I want. Comes back to that like inner child, you know. Maybe that's like our higher self speaking to us, but like your inner child is needing a little bit of like love and compassion and something like that, because it's not feeling seen or heard. So if that's something that you resonate with, or that you want to write down, like what could be coming up for you when your inner voice or whatever is saying like, don't do that, and you're like, no, or you're like, yeah, no, I won't. And then you're like, nah, stuff it. they're kind of like all or nothing, right? What do you think is actually coming up for you when that is when that's happening? And then another one is, I've learned that balance doesn't mean perfection. It means, and I put actually acceptance. So I don't know what you would write for that one, but I feel like having balance is actually accepting like all of our sides, accepting that we can't be perfect all the time, accepting that we are, you know, we might follow a schedule or a routine, and you know, you look up to people who are like so inspiring, and you know, they have this really strict routine, and like I just keep thinking I just need to do that. But then is that balance, and where can you find balance within a routine? And if it does shift a little bit, acceptance is key. Like, how can I still accept and love myself through all of that, and know that you know, balance isn't a one size fits all type thing. You know, sometimes we have to figure out what balance is for us and our specific needs and our goals and stuff like this. And how can we have a balance where, you know, if we need to change our routine or our schedule along the way to fit in and give us more balance, then if that's what's needed, then to look into that. So yeah, so those were a couple of little like journal prompts that I felt quite interesting and helpful. And so then I thought, you know, why not share them with you guys? And yeah, this has been like quite a raw and vulnerable discussion without me really going too much in depth about the backstory. But I'm really just wanting to share this, hoping that anyone else out there that is possibly struggling with a bit of or who has struggled with a eating disorder, just to know that I want you to know that you are seen and you're heard, and that like, don't beat yourself up if you are struggling. If you need to go and talk to someone about this, then you know what you need to do. But just know that like, it does come from like love and acceptance of ourselves, but it also can be like a feeling like we're not quite in control of our environment. But then that's when, if you release and let go and be like, I know that everything is happening for me, not to me, and I can release the need of control. And so when you release the need of control and that everything has to look and feel a certain way, then you can just have the little like sweet thing or whatever every now and then. And if you feel a little bit crap afterwards, give yourself compassion and love. Know that you're going to be okay, and know that it's like, and then just kind of journal about what was going through you at the time. Let those emotions and those feelings out, and then just know that, okay, cool, I can start again, no matter what stage of the day I'm at, no matter what stage of the week I'm at. It doesn't matter, you know, I can always turn around and like get back on the wagon of whatever the eating routine that I want to look like, and just really to find balance and love through whatever you're doing. And if the way you're eating isn't working for you, how can you change that up? That's something that I'm sort of looking into at the moment, but I definitely have noticed mine as an emotional thing, because I actually am quite enjoying what I'm eating. It's just these big emotions. That's when things just kind of turn a bit sideways for me. So anyway, I hope this has helped someone out there. That's really my mission and intention for this video, is to resonate with someone and hopefully share some insight that you are, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not too much. You're not not lovable, or you're exactly perfect just the way you are. Just learning to love you being perfectly imperfect. So yeah, I'm gonna finish there. Much love and belief, Lisa Cerise. And oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you want to. Thank you so much. Bye.